magnesium ribbon cleaned before burning. Welcome to Sri Krishna Education channel. In this video, I am going to explain about the chemical reactions and equations of class 10th science. First, the chemical reaction. So, it is a process in which new substances with new properties are formed. So, in a chemical reaction, there is a new substance are formed with the new properties. So, that can be represented in a systematic way, which is simply known as a chemical reaction. A chemical reaction which involved a chemical change, the chemical reactions can be detected by the following observations like change in the state, change in color, evolution of a gas, a change in temperature. So any of these parameters have changed. So that case we can say the chemical change happened. Once the chemical change is happened, then we can represent in a systematic way. That case we can obtain the chemical reaction. A chemical equations. So a chemical change can be represented symbolically in terms of chemical equation. A chemical equation represents a chemical reaction occurring in a chemical change. So in a chemical equation which having two parts, one part is the reactant, other part is product. The reactant which is present in the left hand side, whereas the product is present in the right hand side, and between the reactants and product, okay, there will be a arrow mark that indicates the direction of chemical change. For example, simply you can see here the magnesium which is reacting with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. So in this reaction, the magnesium and oxygen, these are the reactants, whereas magnesium oxide is product. Between the reactants and products, there will be arrow mark. So this arrow mark which indicates the direction of the chemical change. This way we can write the chemical equations. Writing a chemical equation. So when we are writing the chemical change, okay, with respect to the symbols and formulas of the different elements which involved in a chemical change. So that is simply known as writing a chemical equation. So if you see the above chemical reaction, in this case magnesium which is reacting with the oxygen gas, it forms magnesium oxide. So here the magnesium symbol is Mg and oxygen symbol is O2 to form the magnesium oxide. MgO is the formula of magnesium oxide. So this way we are writing the chemical equation by using the symbols and formulas of the different elements involved, so which is known as the chemical equation. Next, the balancing equation. So a chemical reaction is balanced so that the number of atoms in each element involved in a chemical reaction which are same on the reactant and product side of the equation. With respect to the reactants and product side, the number of each and every element should be same. Then we say that the chemical equation is balanced. For example, you can see here zinc which is treating with the sulfuric acid. So it forms zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas. So this is the chemical change. We are representing this chemical change with help of the names of the each chemical constituent involved in the chemical change. This is the simple skeletal chemical equation. So from this skeletal chemical equation, with the help of the symbols and formulas, we can write the chemical reaction. Here the zinc which is treating with the sulfuric acid H2SO4, it forms zinc sulfate ZnSO4 plus hydrogen gas. So now we have to check the number of each element present in the reactant side and product side. In the case of the reactant side, you can notice the zinc, hydrogen, sulfur and oxygen, these elements are present. The reactant side, the number of zinc is 1 and the number of hydrogens which are 2 and sulfur is 1, whereas the oxygens are 4. Whereas the product side you can notice the zinc is 1, okay, sulfur which is 1, oxygens which are 4, where the hydrogens which is 2. Means the reactant side and product side, the number of each and every element which is same, so the reaction which is balanced. So after that we have to go for the mentioning the physical state. So the physical state, okay, in case of the solids we can represent with small s, whereas for the liquids we can represent with small l, whereas gases which can be represented with G, and the aqueous substance can be represented with AQ. Okay, here the zinc which is a solid, so we can represent with S. Here the sulfuric acid which can be represented with aqueous AQ, and zinc sulfate also present in the aqueous medium, and H2 which is in the place of the gas. So this is the balanced chemical equation. If we consider the another example, in this case iron which is reacting with water to form Fe3O4 and hydrogen gas. So this is the skeletal chemical equation. Now we have to take in the step 2, that is the each element we have to take in a box. So and we have to check the each element in the reactant side and product side. So here the iron, hydrogen and oxygen elements are present. So in the reactant side iron is 1, hydrogens are 2, oxygen is 1. Whereas the product side the iron are 3, hydrogen 2 and the oxygen are 4. Now to make the balance of these elements, the reactant side and product side those are not same, so we have to multiply in the reactant side to the water molecule with 4. So when we are multiplying with 4, so that case again we have to consider, we have to check the reactant side and product side, the number of elements are same or different. So if you check that, so that case the oxygens which are balanced but the number of hydrogens are not balanced. So to make the balance of hydrogens, we have to multiply the product side hydrogen with 4. When we are multiplying the product side hydrogen with 4, so that case the hydrogens which are balanced and oxygens also balanced in the reactant side and product side, but the iron which is not balanced. To make the balance of iron, okay, in the next step we have to multiply the iron in the reactant side with 3. So after that we have to check. So here the reaction we can get 3Fe plus 4H2O useless 2, Fe3O4 plus 4H2. So in the reactant side and product side the each and every element which is same, so then we can go for the final step to write the physical states of each element. So here the iron is a metal, so it is present in the solid state. Next water which is present in the form of the water vapor, so it is available in the form of the gas. Next Fe3O4, okay, which can be obtained in the form of the solid, and the hydrogen which is in the form of the gas we can obtain. So this way we can balance the chemical equation. Next some other examples of the balancing of chemical reactions. For example CO gas which is treating with the hydrogen gas H2 gas, okay, that case it gives methanol. This reaction carried at 340 atmospheric pressure. So here the 2 moles of hydrogen gas which will be utilized in the case of the formation of methanol. Next another example, the simple photosynthesis example, that is when the 6CO2 which is treating with the 6H2O. Here CO2 which is in the form of the aqueous medium and the water which is in the form of the liquid. So in presence of the sunlight and chlorophyll which can be undergoes the chemical reaction to give the glucose plus oxygen gas. Here the glucose which is present in the aqueous medium and oxygen gas also present in the aqueous medium. So this is also the balanced chemical equation. So this way we can balance the different kind of chemical equations. Thank you.